Good afternoon, everyone. This is Mr. Vincharski back, doing a little bit of math for our final area of a triangle worksheet. So in total, we had 3 area of a triangle worksheets. There was the practice sheet of 6 questions, the worksheet, and now the textbook questions. After today, we are moving on to trapezoids, and then we are done our unit on 2D surface area. There are 2 specific word problems that are going to come up in this worksheet, and I want to make sure you know what to do for both of those. The first one is number 10 in your worksheet. This is a pretty much copy of it. I've just changed the numbers, so you still have to do the work. And then there's one other one I want to go over. If you're still confused about area of a triangle, please go back to my previous video to help you with that. Now, the word problem today is right here. We're given a triangle, and it has a base of 2 and a height of 1.2 meters. And it says Daniel wants to plant as many tulips in his triangular garden as possible. Each square meter can hold 45 tulips. How many can he fit in total? Now, we did a question like this with parallelograms, but we're going to do it now with a triangle. So in order to do this word problem, the first thing we got to do is find the area of the space that Daniel is working with. So we'll use our formula, area equals base times the height divided by 2, which is the area for a triangle. We know that the base is 2. We know that the height is 1.2. And that we have to make sure that we cut that in half after, because base times height is a parallelogram. This is half of that. Now 2.1 multiplied by 2, you can do that in your head, or if you need to go off, you can do 2.2, oh, I lied, that's not right, 1.2 by 2. 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 1 is 2, so the decimal is 4. Again, should be able to do that in your head, but in case you can't, we're looking at a total of 2.4 divided by 2. Now we got to cut 2.4 in half, which is the same thing as dividing it by 2. So half of 4 is 2, and half of 2 is 1. So it would be 1.2 meters squared. That is the area of the entire triangular shaped garden. But that wasn't the question we were being asked. The question we were being asked... Sorry guys, my camera's kind of off here today. Let's see if I can prop it up a little bit. That really didn't make a difference. Try my best to just keep it stable. We were asked if 45 tulips can be planted in 1 square meter, how many can be planted in total? Okay, so the way to do this is pretty straightforward. The first thing we need to look at is we know the area of the whole triangle, and that whole area is 1.2. Now, each one of the square meters can hold 45, but we want to know how many can be held together. So all we need to do is multiply 1.2 by 4.5, and that will give us the answer we're looking for. Sorry guys, if my camera's out of focus here. My little tripod stand is a little out of whack today. Let's try that. So we have to multiply the total area by how many of whatever, it doesn't matter if it's rocks or daffodils, can fit per square meter. We go 5 times 2 is 10, 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6. We add our 0 because we're moving on to the tens column. 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 1 is 4. We add them up together, and we get 540. There's 1 decimal place, so 54 daffodils can be put in this entire garden. 54 daffodils can fit in this, or sorry, tulips. My apologies. The sheet that you have says daffodils, but tulips, it doesn't matter. 54 tulips can be placed inside this garden. So what you do, find the area. So just use your formula, base times height divided by 2, and then multiply that by how many of the objects can fit in each square meter. Otherwise, guys, that's it for this question. There is one more question I want to do, so let's take a look. All right, guys, the last question is number 14 on your worksheet. And it is much better drawn than mine, but it shows a boat. And the boat has two sails, one sail slightly larger than the other. And it says how much material would be needed to make the two sails on the sailboat shown. So we're given a little problem here. We have a boat with two sails with two different sets of measurements, and we are being asked to find the total area of both sails. Now, there's no easy way to do this. The best thing we can do is just do two different calculations and add them together. So we're going to call this sail 1, this sail 2. It really doesn't matter. So let's start with sail 1. We know our formula for finding area of a triangle. It's base times height divided by 2. If we look at the triangle here, the base is 13 and the height is 15. And we need to make sure whatever that answer is, we divide it by 2. Now again, maybe you can do that in your head, but if you can't, no calculators here. Go over and do it aside. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6. We add a 0 to the next row. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 1 is 1. Let's quickly add them together. And there you go. We got 195. Okay. 195 is our total area of, if that was a rectangle, but it's not, it's a triangle. So we need to make sure we divide 195 by 2. Now there's a couple ways to do this. Now 200 divided by 2 would be 100. Okay, it's going to be a little bit less than that because it's not. So 90 plus 90 would be 180. That's not enough. 95 plus 95 would be 190. Okay, so we're getting definitely close here. It's not 195, but it's pretty close. So, sorry, it's not 95. It's 97 and a half meters squared. So that's the total area of that first sail, 97 and a half meters squared. Now, unfortunately, we have two sails here, so we're going to have to do this twice. So let's go over here to sail 2. Area equals base times height divided by 2. Same formula for everything. The base is 7. The height is 12 divided by 2. Okay. And you need to do 7 times 12. Now, maybe you can do that in your head. 12, 24, 36, 48. You can count by 12s. That would be great. If you can't, go over and do your multiplication very quickly. 7 times 2 is 14. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 1 is 8, so 84. And 84 cut in half is 42 meters squared. So what we've done here is we've calculated the area of both triangles separately, but that wasn't the question. The question was, what's the total area? So the only thing we have to do is add these two sails together. So we can put, kind of running out of room here, maybe I'll go up here. 97.5 was the first sail. 42 was the second sail. We can just pad with zeros here. Let's just add them together. There we go. So our grand total would be 139.5 meters squared of sail that we need. So when you're given a question like this, simply add or find the area of both sails separately and then add them together to get the total area of sails. Now, I'm going to tell you on question 14 in the textbook questions, these are decimal numbers. They're not whole numbers like I gave you in this example. So I will allow you to use a calculator for question 14 just because it's going to be a lot of extra division and multiplication. So feel free in question 14 to use a calculator to help you. This is the only one you should need a calculator for. The rest of them, the multiplying and dividing, are relatively easy. Otherwise, guys, those are the two extra word problems that appear on this final worksheet. Starting by Tuesday of next week, we are going to be working on area of a trapezoid, and then we'll be wrapping up our unit by Thursday. And then hopefully we'll see you back on the Monday, and we'll be moving on to a new math unit away from area. Have a great week, guys. We'll talk to you soon. Bye now.